Hey guys, if you still like us after listening to this podcast, do us a favor and share this with a friend of yours or a family member. Maybe not your mom or dad, but somebody who you think will still like us after listening to it. Also, it'd be great if you can give us a like on Facebook or write a nice comment about us on iTunes so more people can share the love and conquer their shame.
Okay, so I haven't... Okay. This is a nightmare I may not be ready to live through.
I started getting crushes on boys.
Real embarrassed about this.
My mouth gets the best of me pretty much all the time.
Okay, I'm just like, how do... Okay. All right.
There we go.
Oh boy. All right. Hey, welcome back to the We Still Like You podcast, guys.
Bam! I'm Mark Maron. Welcome to the podcast.
Boom! Pew, 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 pew.
This is called We Still Like You. Thank you for listening. This is a show where we celebrate and conquer our shame. We swallow it down.
Gain its strength. Use it as our own.
That's right.
This show's all about love, because these people are going to be telling you things that they're really ashamed of having done. So the way we do that is that after every story, we raise our glasses and we say, "We still like you!"
We still like you!
Anyway, I'm J. Michael Osborne. This is Dan Sheehan. Dumb shit hands.
God damn it, that one always comes back to me. Just because I got these babies' hands. These adult babies' hands. My friend growing up once told me, he's like, if I had to watch you paint a fence, I'd vomit. That's the thing he said about my hands.
This episode is We Still Like the World.
And we got stories from across the pond and beyond.
Both of these stories, though, come from Los Angeles. Heard of it?
It's a pretty cool place. Tinseltown, Hollywood.
Omaha, the West Coast, I always say.
And both these stories take place in Europe.
What?
Yeah. Pretty fancy.
Yeah. The socialist one?
The socialist Europe, yeah.
Cool.
As it turns out, shame transcends just the Midwest, America.
Let's get right down into it. This first story, it comes to us from Josh Androsky, one of my favorite performers in the world. So it's fitting he's on this one.
It's very good.
Put your hands together for a very funny, very awesome, amazing, swell, funny dude, Josh Androsky.
I got kicked out of the world's first bar. The first bar that's ever existed. It's the Hofbrauhaus in Munich. It's been around for, I want to say, like hundreds of years. It was the first beer hall. It was the first bar. And they literally give you knives when you walk in to to vandalize the fucking place when you go in. So nobody gets kicked out of this place. I did, in front of my grandmother. Okay, so the World Cup had just happened. I think this was like 2006 or 2007. And the Seven Nation Army had just come out, the song, and it was the first time that the world, I believe, like Spain, really like loved the White Stripes. And they started chanting, oh, 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 and it became this big thing throughout the World Cup. And I don't think they knew, well, I know they didn't know that it was a song, because I got up on the table and sang it. I got up onto the table and they were going, oh, 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 and I was like, I'm going to Wichita! You gotta remember, this was the Bush administration. People didn't like America very much. And these dudes were like, that drunk kid's awesome! But I was clearly underage and very wasted. And I just remember two German dudes came up to me. And they were like, yeah, the Oompa Pa band is very sad that you are taking spotlight from them. And I look, and there's these old dudes in Lederhosen that apparently I was so loud that they had to stop playing. And they were all in this corner looking at me, and they had a dachshund that was also in Lederhosen. And it was frowning. Like, I want to say the dog was frowning. And this German dude was like super nice about it, but he was like, yeah, you are having to be going now. And I was like, Come on, man, is this because I'm Jewish? Wrong thing to say. That's a bad thing to say. In Germany, I'm half Jewish. I'm not even full Jewish. And then he's like, yeah, you're having to be going. And I got mad. I was like, well, what can I do? What can I do to, like, fucking show these dudes who's boss? Nailed it, swish, puked on him. I threw up on a man in lederhosen. Thank you.
Guys, keep it going for Josh Androsky.
That was Josh Androsky, everybody. If you want to hear more from him, he's on Twitter at @ShutUpAndrosky, which is the home base for him trolling everyone from Ted Cruz to Donald Trump. Go watch that guy talk. It's great.
I went to Mexico when I was in high school on a missions trip, and I'm not very good at. I was supposed to build a wing of an orphanage, but I'm
All by yourself?
All by myself with a group of other high schoolers. So it was worse. So my main use was the professional construction workers that I worked with. Every day they would be like, "Hey man, you know any Eminem?" And I would say, "I don't really know any Eminem. I know Beastie Boys." And they said, "Beastie Boys, do Beastie Boys." And so every day that I worked there, now here's a little story I got to tell about three bad brothers you know so well. It started way back in history with Ed Rock.
And me, Mike D.
Every single day, to their delight. And when I wasn't doing that, I was accidentally getting high off paint fumes. So that was my number one role in Mexico at building an orphanage.
This next story comes to you from one of my best pals. I've known this guy forever, and he has been kind enough to host us 3 times in LA now in his own home.
Is that a record?
Yeah, I think that's a record for hosts who aren't producers. So really enjoy this next one. It takes place in the City of Lights. It involves lots of tears. You guys, this is great. This comes from Evan Wood.
Yeah, he is one of our hosts tonight. He's one of my oldest pals. He's one of the best dudes. Guys, put your hands together for Evan Wood, everybody.
How many of you seen the film Midnight in Paris? Cool. So I was watching Midnight in Paris, and I realized I was like looking. There's that opening montage. It's like 15 minutes of just Paris porn, basically, all the like really beautiful places in Paris, and I was looking at a lot of the places, and I realized I was like, oh, hey, I've cried there, and it was like happening like an uncanny amount of times. So my performance is based around that fact. It's called A List of Places I've Cried in Paris. It's abridged. The first place that I cried in Paris is right here. This lovely little apartment is located in a part of Paris called the Marais. It's kind of near the Pompidou Museum, and these 2 windows right up here are the windows of the apartment that I cried in. So this was a cry that came for like a myriad of reasons all at once. The main reason was because I was about to leave Paris in like a few hours, and I kind of, I don't know, like I wasn't there for super long, but I'd sort of like come to think of it as kind of like a second home in a way. I just felt really at home there and comfortable. I was also really drunk and I hadn't slept, and like I had a long trip because I flew into Brussels because it saved me like a couple $100 to do that, so I had to take a train back there at like 5 in the morning, and I wasn't super thrilled about that. And for reasons that will become clear momentarily, I was also a little heartbroken at the time. I remember the exact moment that I started crying in this apartment. I was packing some shirts into my suitcase, and suddenly I came upon this, like, I want to say half-used, but that's being way too generous to me. It was like a, like, quarter to an eighth used box of condoms. And I looked at it, and yeah, a tear just sort of came to my eye. A couple of reasons. Basically, I was looking at it and I was like, should I pack this? Like, do I need to bring these back? No. I decided to leave them. So the apartment in question was not mine. It was this girl, a friend of mine, who we'd sort of been, I guess, seeing each other for the month and a half, 2 months that I was there. Yeah, her name was Anna. And I left, I decided to leave the condoms on the bed in Anna's apartment. The first reason I did that was because it was like kind of a memento, like, hey, remember me? And the second reason was kind of as a fuck you and enjoy like your time with your tall new German boyfriend. So for all those reasons and more, I started crying. And I cried all the way from, packing up, leaving the apartment, walking to the train station, cried on the train, fell asleep, woke up, cried some more, cried in the airport at Brussels. So after each one of these, I just want to give you a little summary. So duration of cry, 3 hours off and on. And amount of people who witnessed me crying, close to 40. Stragglers on their way to the train in the morning, people in the airport, everyone who was going through international security at the Brussels airport at that specific time saw me cry. Okay, so that's the first place. The second place that I cried is at a park. It's basically on this island in the middle of the rivers in Paris, and it kind of like splits it in two for a little bit. And so basically, my friends and I went there this one evening, and it was the first night that Anna, the girl I'd been seeing, and the tall German friend of hers in question came to town. She told me in a drunken, weepy mess nights before that her ex was coming into town, and she didn't feel like she could resist him, even though we were kind of seeing each other. So I was a little on edge. Between the five of us, over the course of a long time, we consumed 16, 17 bottles of wine. And I'm not a very confrontational person, so I was feeling really nervous and really, just sensing that this romance that I'd sort of been cultivating was totally doomed. And I knew it, and I was watching it unravel before me. So instead of trying to do something about it, I just sort of resorted to some broody guitar playing and just thought of all the sad songs that I knew and just kind of brought the mood down. Just in general. So anyway, so we're all leaving. We're kind of drunk. We're heading back to our respective places of rest for the evening. And I look back because I'm like, oh, Anna and Jan aren't with us. I wonder what's holding them up, and it was make-out times. They were making out, and I just saw it, and just the first thing I started doing was shouting obscenities at no one in particular, and then I started running. It's just generally in the direction of the apartment that I was staying in, which was hers, ironically. She's the kind of person who just had access to more than one apartment in Paris for this summer, so they were supposed to go back to this other family friend apartment, and then we were going back to hers. And so I kind of start running, and I'm crying, and I punched a street sign or two just for good measure. When we get there, they're there in a cab. Because they had forgotten their keys to the other apartment, so I just kind of locked myself in the bedroom and went on a little rampage for a bit, stomped around and continued yelling obscenities and crying, mostly just crying. So for that one, duration of cry, I think it was an hour probably all told, and a number of people have witnessed me crying. Let's see, I guess four of my friends and all of the people who were stumbling back from bars at that particular hour in the trajectory that I ran in. So let's call it 17. Okay, so the third place that I cried is at this bus stop. This is in a really touristy part of Paris. In the interceding days between the night where I saw Anna and her new German guy making out, and this night we'd sort of talked and reconciled as much as that was possible. Because I only had a few nights left in the country, so it seemed kind of foolish not to just like let bygones be bygones. Also, I didn't want to be homeless, so you know we just kind of like made up. And yeah, for my last night, we were all hanging out together, including her and the aforementioned German. And we went out to all these bars, and we ended at this bar kind of across the street from the bus stop. It was this place that had barrels for tables, and we were there at like 3 a.m. just really, really drunk. And I kind of had this vision of how the night would go because it was my last night. I was thinking like, oh, we're gonna spend our last couple of hours in Paris together, and like stare into each other's eyes and reflect on like how nice and like important our time together has been. And that was misguided.
La place d'un père, la place d'une mère dans une famille, la place de deux êtres chers sans cesser mais pour la vie unie.
Anna basically explained to me, like in no uncertain terms, that no, she was not coming back with me for the rest of the evening. She's going to go back to the other apartment. And I basically plopped down right on the curb there and started crying. Yeah. So I'm just kind of sitting there crying. My friends are trying to console me, and Anna and Jan are standing over underneath the shelter of the bus stop, just kind of looking on. And the bus arrives, and I think, this is my last play, you know. This was my last night in Paris. I bolt upright and I run over to the bus, and Anna's entering the door frame of the bus, and she just turns to me and looks at me and says very unceremoniously, "I have to go," and walks to the back of the bus, and that's just kind of it until next time, or so she thought. Because the next thing I did was hailed a taxi that I could not pay for, and took the world's most expensive taxi ride all the way to the northern side of Paris where their apartment was, and my friend Ben luckily was willing to pay for it. And I should just point out, like, this all felt very heroic at the time. I have since, like you, realized that this was supremely stalkerish behavior. So I see them walking between the bus station and the, the apartment that they're headed to on the sidewalk, and I jump out and, I shout her name, and we talk for a little bit more, like 15 minutes or so, and then she gives me a kiss on the cheek, and we get another cab that's even more expensive to go back to the apartment that we're staying at, and that kind of like bleeds over into the mid-packing cry. So for that one duration of cry, if you don't include the taxi ride though, I would say like 25 minutes. And then for the number of people that witnessed me cry, everyone that happened to be driving up and down one of the busiest streets in Paris at the night, and also, is that fireworks?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anyway, so like, I don't know, 17 people, let's just say 17. The last place that I cried in Paris is this apartment. The windows up on top were the windows of it. It's above this like little cafe, like little jazz club kind of. And basically, I had traveled to Paris 1 year later. I sort of had this whole thing where I was like doing a month in Greece and then a month in Paris, and I had sold my car to pay for it all at the beginning of the summer, but I was factoring in that I was going to have free accommodations in Paris because Anna and I had been talking for the whole year in between, and she was going to be there too that summer, so she had agreed to let me stay with her for the summer. So I convinced some companions, including Dan, here to travel with me to Paris. I'm like, oh, it's going to be great. We're going to have a place to stay. So I learned on my first night there, after some email communication, that Anna's not coming till like 2 weeks after that. And in the meantime, I start becoming deathly ill with this bacterial infection. that like leaves me bedridden at one point for close to 40 hours. So basically, all this leads to my friends leaving and me not having a place to stay. So I go to the school that I'm like studying at, and they lease apartments to students sometimes. So they're like, yeah, here are the keys. It's $2,000. We'll add it to your bill. And I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. So like a few days later, I'm on Skype with my parents, and I'm like, hey, by the way, like my living arrangements fell through, so I need $2,000, just, you know, casually. And they're like, okay, cool. Like, what do you want us to do about it? We can't help you in any way, shape, or form. And so, like, during that conversation, I just see this, like, look of disappointment wash over them. And it just makes me kind of realize, like, that I have transitioned to this stage in my life. There's a word for it. It's like, adulthood. Yeah, right. So like where you have to like take responsibility for your actions, and it was that, and then also just the feeling like, okay, like I'm basically like asking these people who have at this point in my life have given me everything and have continued to support me since, like just for this totally unreasonable amount of money just to subsidize like my entirely unnecessary return to fucking the city of lights. It's just like I just realized what I was doing all at once, and it just made me feel so like low and shitty, and made me like cry in this like chest heaving way that like no like failed romance with a Parisian girl ever really could. And so for that one, duration of cry, it's like 45 minutes, and number of people that witnessed me crying, 0.
Keep it going forever.
That was Evan Wood. He's a writer. He's on the internet. He's great. His Twitter handle used to be HorseEagle9000, which was awesome, but then he changed it to Evan Wood. So
boring.
Yep, no.
It's not
fun.
even a verified account.
Yeah, he's not verified. He would be if he was HorseEagle9000 still. But yeah, we all got to grow up sometime, even if it means ditching the best Twitter handle of all time.
Well, that has been this episode of We Still Like You. Thank you for listening, as always. Leave us a comment on iTunes if you liked it. That would be really helpful. You can check us out on Twitter. You can check us out on Facebook. You can check us out at www.westilllikeyu.com.
And if something about these stories really stirred something in you, and you remembered a shame that you've buried for a long time, and maybe you want to tell it, shoot us an email, westilllikeyu@gmail.com. We take open submissions for the shows from Chicago, LA, and beyond.
And we're traveling a lot these days, so if you want to have us in your hometown, shoot us an email and let us know. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
We Still Like You is produced by Danny Gallegos, Dan Sheehan, Tyler Snodgrass, and J. Michael Osborne, who is also our resident live artist.
The podcast is produced by Jesse Patend, engineered by Jesse Patend and Sam Haas. Our theme song is Specific People by Jake Tobin. Big thanks to all the people who've housed our live shows at various undisclosed locations around Chicago, and to you, the listener, for being there.
If you'd like to know more about where you can watch We Still Like You or submit to be on We Still Like You, please check out our website, which is westilllikeyou.com, and also you can find us on Facebook.
We'll see you next month.
Next time on We Still Like You.
I thought it was the end of it. But the next day, this guy wouldn't let me on the floor elevator. This fucking guy is holding the door shut, and I'm trying to get in there. I'm like, you know me, I'm Nick, come on. Come on, man, what was that about? And he goes, I heard what you did. You flooded the bathroom, you're an asshole. You're dirty. And I was like, no, I'm not. He's like, yeah. So we get on the elevator, and I'm standing there, and he goes, you're just like an immature, obnoxious person who is really not fun to live around, and I wish you'd stop doing the things you do. He said, see, this is a perfect example. I'm telling you something about yourself, and you're just making fun of me. And I went, that was when my idiot brain said, this is you getting bullied. Defend yourself.
Check out this next story. It's from Evan Wood, who I know nothing about.